G'day, I'm Blxz and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. Now I did notice that my Ethiopia video got quite a few views, so I figured I would dive right in and start up a new Hearts of Iron Let's Play. Now I've been sick the last couple of days, so my voice is probably a little bit off, but I've got about 30 or 40 hours worth of gameplay in. I just lost as Poland, but I've basically managed to win as quite a few other countries. A lot of small ones as well, so I've got a fair bit of experience. Ethiopia was one of them. Fair bit of experience with smaller countries. And what we're going to be doing today, I think, is the Empire of the Platypus. We're going to be creating a fascist Australia, and hopefully we're going to possibly start our own faction. I think we're going to dive right in, and I'll keep talking once we get in there. John Curtin, one of our PMs back in the day. What am I going to do here? I reckon it might actually be fun to go ahistorical, since I'm going to be going ahistorical as well. We'll see what happens. Not going to go Iron Man, because if something goes wrong with the LP, I always do need to go back and reload from a previous save. So I have made a few minor changes to Australia. You'll notice unless of course the latest patch is done. No, there you go, 7.54 million eligible core population. Now, the population of Australia during this time period, was actually that number, but the base Paradox game has it at about 6.5 million. So I did go down and add an extra million people down here into Victoria. Now, I believe they would have been spread more widely right around, but I couldn't find for some reason, the entry for New South Wales, so I just dumped them in Victoria. It doesn't really matter where they are, because they're all going to be core territories. So I have a slightly higher manpower than usual. I've also done, let's have a quick look here, I've also made a few minor changes. Darwin was not a wasteland, or Northern Territory they call it here, which is actually shaped like that. It was not a wasteland. The Japanese did actually bomb Darwin here, so there was industry, and I've given that basically a rural, or whatever it's called, the developed rural region. So sure, all this stuff down here is desert and crap like that, and then this stuff over here, but up here there was at least developed townships. This was the capital of the state, so it's a very small population. So I have actually given it a couple of factories. That's an ahistorically low population. As well as South Australia needed a couple more. This is actually sort of our shipbuilding hub in Australia, down here in Adelaide, down here, which is oddly enough in Victoria. Very strange. So there have been a few minor changes, a couple of extra factory things. Tasmania is not a small island, it's actually the 26th largest island in the world, and it does have a significant amount of industry. So we're going to continue on. Now my plans for this, how are we going to go? Let's have a quick look at our technology. 2 technology slots, that's going to be a slow start. I reckon the way to go is to go the traditional route, which is these two, and if you've got a third one, construction as well. It really is one of the better ways of going, unless you are pressed for time, such as say Poland or Ethiopia. They have some more pressing things they can do. In the meantime, I really don't think you can beat early civilian spam. Now, I have others for, I'll come back to them later, when I eventually build my way through here, which will take quite some time. I am very, very low on industry, unfortunately. But what else are we going to need? Well, we're going to need boats. And I think submarines are the way to go. We'll need them for range. Australia's building several billion on submarines at the moment, and I believe that is the right way to go. Submarines are a very useful, ship type for our region. They will give us a bit of power projection, but we don't really have the capacity, the industrial capacity to build up a massive force. Now, how are we going to go in terms of... Geez, that's a fairly big thing. I'm going to actually... I really like... what have we got? I like this doctrine here, superior firepower. Although we haven't got grand battle plan. Is that necessarily a bad one? Let's have a look. Industry, mech... infantry, mech... Infantry. some light tank work. Supply consumption will be good for Asia. Yeah, I think I might stick with this one actually. I often do switch over to the artillery one, but I think we'll give this one a shot and we'll see how we go. In that case, I'm going to want some support equipment. I reckon that. So we've got 4 military factories to begin with. That is not very high. And to begin with, I really think, actually, industrial is the way to go normally, but we need to swap over and become the Empire of the Platypus. So we're going to jump right into political power, and then we're going to go down the fascist tree. Now I do notice there are a lot of LPs on YouTube using the fascist route, and it does get a little bit boring, but I've just come off a massive democracy binge, so I need a bit of a break from protecting the world. It's time to take over the world this time. And if there is interest in this particular LP, if people do like and subscribe, and I can always see where they come from, which video, then I may well go back and do a couple more videos of different countries. Love to do the British Raj sometime in the future. I reckon they've got good manpower down here. And China's always fun. Haven't done them yet. How are we going to proceed from here? Just to get time ticking over a little bit. How would I like to go? Resources. What resources does Australia have? It's been a while since I've played it. I had one of my early test games. Got to learn the hotkeys again. Okay, a little bit of tungsten, so we could go. Artillery wouldn't be impossible. Throw in some light supporting artillery. And a little bit of chromium, so we can do some of our more advanced equipment. Wow, there's a lot of chromium out here. New Caledonia. The thing is, this is what we really need to take. This is oil, rubber territory up here. This is about 90% of the world's production, if not more, at least of rubber. So I'd love to jump in there and do that. And to do that, I think we're going to dive straight on the Netherlands once I do end up going fascist. Let's have a look here. They are not in a faction, so I can jump on them right away. I did have a previous test game about 2 weeks ago maybe, where I ended up inviting Japan into my faction. I created the Australian-Japanese co-prosperity sphere down here, and things were going really well until they got bogged down in China and declared war on the US for no reason. This is apparently a very tempting bombing target out here. I would have recommended against that one, and so I didn't get invaded by the US, but I did get drawn into a stalemate by the end of the game where I couldn't really expand beyond this early region. So I'm going to avoid... Why can't I do that this time? I need... Of course, I need that. Power. I should have been paying attention. Less talking, more paying attention. In that case, we're already falling behind here a little bit. So let's jump on to the fascist demagogue, Ron Law. Now, I don't know who this person is. I tried looking him up on Wikipedia, but didn't notice anything. Now, I had no idea what the two differences here seem to be, except that I think the higher-ups increases the chance for a coup as opposed to a popular referendum. And the coup doesn't drop down your national unity. So I think I'm going to go and coup it up. Probably should be paying attention. I haven't really been doing very much organising here. Where is my army? I haven't been doing a lot of organising here because I've been talking too much. I do tend to do that on some of my LPs. It's very easy to be a good player early on, but you'll find that the moment you get on camera, things get a little bit more difficult. Let's have Leslie Moorhead, Daniel, to basically come over here and begin training. I'm also thinking that cavalry is going to be no use to me. So I'm going to swap right on over. Okay, let's go down. I think we will grab... What's that? 36. I think we're actually going to grab a submarine early on. Now it's probably more efficient to go into some of the other things long term, but I really would like to get advanced submarines going so we can get some dominance up here, so I'll be able to navally invade when required. G'day, cat. How you going? I don't know if you guys can hear that. I have been attempting to improve my sound quality just a little bit, and I've turned the gain down on my mic, and I'll be doing it all up in post-editing, so hopefully the sound does come up well on this episode. Okay, beautiful. Let's dive. It was actually good timing. We're going to dive right into... Let's go actually ahead of time. Now, going ahead of time when you've got so few research slots is probably not a good thing normally, but we're saving a lot more. This 50% is having a much larger effect than normal. So I think we will jump onto that and grab that right away. Now construction effort, that's the way to go. Civilian factories, love them. You can almost never have too many of them, especially as a fairly resource poor area as World War II Australia. Obviously nowadays we are the hub of a lot of resources. We've got more coal than you can imagine. I think we've got some of the largest exporting capability for iron ore around the world. But that's in modern times. Apparently they haven't discovered where that iron ore is. I'll give you a big hint, a lot of it's out here. What do we want? Probably can't go war economy yet. I will save up for that. Probably pause time as well might be helpful. We don't have anyone to help our civilian factory. Industrial. Actually, what I want is a ship. No, it doesn't give me any bonuses to my ships at all. Jeez, I forgot how bad Australia was. I think we'll just jump onto that. Industrial concern is a good way to go. We'll be doing a lot of industrial researching. Excuse me, still recovering from my cold. Alrighty, we have ourselves some beautiful one civilian factory. Let's grab one more. 7. It's not very many, but hopefully once we get all this stuff up, we'll be able to begin building stuff over in our newly conquered territories. Olympiads. And our fascist is building. Eric Campbell. Now, John Curtin is a historical PM of Australia. He was, I believe, a Labor PM, which is the, I suppose you'd call it, left-wing party. Although Australia tends to be fairly centrist in a lot of matters. Might actually be helpful long term to have this one first, and then I'll come back to the other one, because we're not really producing much anyway, so an extra 20% is not going to be a major boost, not just yet anyway. And I pretty much always go. There's almost no reason I can think of to not go. Oh, excellent. That's another one. Now, a bit of infrastructure, which we don't really need because we're not going to having huge numbers of troops back home. And as I was saying, I can't really see a huge reason to go anything other than concentrated industry. Now, it may be helpful for Germany to go dispersed where you already have quite a few factories and you know you're going to get bombed a lot. But for the majority of countries, I've found this one to be the most important chain to go down. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you have reasons to back up anything different, but I really do think this is the way to go. Okay, now we've got a little bit of EXP. I'd like to... What do I want to do exactly? Do I want artillery? I definitely want an engineer company and a recon company. I can't build them yet. I'll come back. Engineer and recon are almost always a standard for all of my divisions. I'm sure it's not the most efficient. I'm not really bothered with total amount of efficiency. I tend to focus on the strategy rather than the tactics, and min-maxing is not hugely fun for me. I like to just have a bit of fun. I really wish it wouldn't unpause when I click those things. There should be a way to just pause the game and not have it restart until I'm ready. But to throw in a recon company now, we have the experience. I'm thinking, how are we going to do this? 7... I think we're going to move you guys up here. Now it would be good to dive right on in, but we're a little bit pressed for equipment at the moment, and manpower is always going to be the premium for us. Material designer will probably be useful. We're a quarter of the way, or halfway to a chance for a coup anyway. I've never had a civil war start up, so hopefully we don't experience it. I think that will set us back quite a bit. Would love a naval designer, but I'm thinking we'll just go infantry equipment, because there's a lot of researching to be done. Now our fleet, we've got one submarine produced already. Okay, you're going to join the subs whenever you're ready. Now both of you guys are going to rebase up here. We have just enough, I believe. It would be nice to have an easy indicator for how many are in each fleet. But I can't seem to... No, there's no information. Now, a surface fleet is not going to be particularly powerful. They may help with getting a little bit of dominance in each of the regions, naval supremacy, but for the most part they're not going to do a huge amount of good. I do want that research slot. It'll be 140 days or 210 days. I think an extra 70 days of research will be more useful than 2 factories. There you go, we've built 2 of them so far. This is going to be a very slow start. But we're building up for great things. We're not going to get there very quickly. There will be a couple of episodes of this before we get started. Although I suspect we should be started by around about World War II. I want to start diving on the Netherlands before they join any factions, if I can avoid it. If the UK gets pulled in... Well, if the UK gets pulled in, then things get a lot more difficult. Let's put it that way. Now, trading away for resources, I don't know how to... I don't know the efficient way to do it. That's the thing. So, we could always... Oh, good stuff, thank you. You're being worked on, you're not ready yet. You are, though. Although I'd like to... What am I going to do? I've forgotten how to do this efficiently. Oh, yeah, I should have changed over to that as well. Not paying attention. In that case, I'm going to grab that construction one there, and we're going to change over that to the higher submarine. Yeah, really not doing well. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a major difference. Excellent, excellent. Ooh, okay, France is going nuclear technology. It is interesting. Now the research slot will be good there, and then I'm going to jump into probably naval effort. I think this one, that one, naval effort. I would like the extra. Gives me 3 additional dockyards, which is a good way of going about it. Train you up a bit more. And then I think we can... Yep, there we go. Now we can stop that. So I'm not wasting my equipment, because we are well pressed for equipment. I've got to admit, this Allies music gets a bit old after a while. I don't like the... It does annoy me a little bit. But 37, we're going to take that as well. Now let's have a quick look at how our industry's going. Yeah, there you go. So we've gained a couple of extra slots over here, but none of the others. Okay. A coup can be executed. Excellent. Okay, so we're working towards the coup. Now, I'm not entirely sure. I think you get bonus events if you go the populist route. But because we're going higher ups, we're not going to get those kicked up bonuses, but we're not going to suffer many of the negatives to national unity either. Perhaps, again, I haven't explored enough with it just yet. Political power gain might be useful. I will grab that. Low manpower. Okay, 2 more of those. And then we'll be well pressed to do what? Might work on my doctrine actually. No, not yet. I'm going to jump on this one. Okay. Recruitable population for a bit of national unity. I do like that. We'll be able to use that. It's a tiny little bit. Okay. Okay. Never had this before. Okay, so while the attempts of the fascist movement to revitalise the people's pride in their nation has seen some success, the resistance against these ideas remains high. The generals plotting to overthrow the current administration are disappointed in the lack of confidence the Australian population themselves seem to have in Australian superiority. They remain certain that the people will eventually tire of John Curtin's lies, but are divided on what course of action to take. Some call for a coup to be executed now, before Australian enemies take advantage of its weakness. However, doing so, while public support is limited, would plunge the nation into civil war. Greatness can scarcely be achieved without spilling blood, but the blood of our countrymen, even traitors to the cause, is precious. Now it is very, very precious. However, I've never done this before. 2/3 of the country, possibly, will be against us. I'm torn on what to do. I don't know who's going to join me. What I'm going to do is bring them back to Brisbane. And then we're going to give it a shot. Okay, I shouldn't have moved them that far down. Okay, so we've lost Perth, part of the Northern Territory, and Victoria's entirely gone. This is interesting, and okay, things are not looking good. Drop them off in Sydney if at all possible. Okay, we're going to be hard pressed here to win this one. And we've lost Leslie Moorhead as well. He's joined our enemies. Okay, then let's... Well, we could take Melbourne. Oops, wrong button. New Zealand has been called in. Who am I at war with? What? It's not going very well. I don't think it's going very well at all. You guys can charge right down to Melbourne. And Canberra is our... It is our capital, that's good. Although I believe Canberra is out here somewhere in reality. I think it's in a straight line. It's over here somewhere. Doesn't matter. Okay, we're not going to be able to take that just yet. I need you to hold there. Nope, we're going to lose this one quite badly. Looks like the Great Australian Empire is going to come to a very abrupt end. Disappointing that we did lose half our, or 2/3 of our army almost. We have 7 planes. Yeah, alrighty. See if you can bomb them in Melbourne. Wait, why are you in New South Wales? Okay, there you go. Three to 4, so they got 4 divisions. They got 3 coming in from New Zealand in the near future. What I really need is equipment to be produced. Now we've lost all our factories down here. This is not proceeding very well at all. Construction effort will give us a little bit more. We'll need military factories after this. Well, this has slowed us right down. I don't expect we're going to win this one at all. Although I might be able to cut these guys off. Goodbye, Amelia. Okay, that's 1 down. That actually went surprisingly well. Oh, they've left Melbourne empty. Okay. What else do I need to take to beat them? Probably Perth and Darwin. Or Adelaide might even be enough. Oh well, if I can cut them off, they're going to be up in the Australian desert. With nothing. Armament effort, I will... I'm going to think to the future. Yeah, I'm going to go jump on armament effort now. Because we're going to need to recover from this one. I can't believe we won this. I thought we were totally screwed. Okay, they are nearly done. Looks like our fleet has been cut in half as well. How are we going to do this one? What are you doing? Okay, I'm going to get you to run up there. You can actually... I'm going to get you to charge this way. It's not quite there. Yeah, I'm going to grab the infantry support weapons now. Okay, we're cutting you off. Okay, this is good. We're going to have... That's 3 divisions we'll have cut off entirely, I believe. Done. Smashed them. Okay, you are going to head right over here. As quick as you can. And you two are going to relocate up here. We'll take Darwin. Into Perth we go. Okay, what we're going to need to do here, I'm going to ignore the resource ones for the time being because we don't have anywhere near enough. Radios might be useful, but I think it'll be worthwhile starting on Doctrine now, because it'll take a long time to get anywhere with it. I am inclined to go War Economy now that we're at war and use this as an advantage. I probably should have done that a while back, but I was distracted. Okay, there we go. That is a hell of an episode. We've had a violent, bloody coup in Australia, and for some reason it's not called the Empire of the Platypus anymore. That must have changed that in the patch. I'm disappointed at that. Very, very disappointing, because we would have been far more interesting to stay how we were. That's annoyed me a little bit. Oh well, this is no longer the Empire of the Platypus. We are centrist Australia, which is a little bit more normal sounding, and it's going to be time to rebuild our forces after that very, very bloody civil war. We've lost a lot of our manpower, unfortunately. Although, actually, no, a lot of it's tied up in building stuff. So that's not too bad. We've come down a bit, though. Let's think about this. Anyway, this is the end of this episode. I'm going to think about this off screen while we prepare to take over the Southeast Asian Oceanian region. I've been Blxz. This has been Hearts of Iron 4. Take care, and I will see you next time.